straight into the live. Hello, Jasmine. How are you?
Hi. Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Not bad, not bad. Looks a bit bouncy there. How's it? Give us what's happening? What sales have you got up, and what's happening?
Right now I have uh, one reef in the main
Yeah,
and one reef in the jib. I've been changing it for the past few hours because it's just been so mixed, adjusting the hydrogen constantly because I think the weather's just shifting. I'm just going from like some pretty strong winds, going out of orange and coming into some green. So, yeah, it's pretty bouncy.
yeah. It's all of a sudden turned into hard work. Hey, we all thought it'd be a bit easier than this. So, and even the forecast, like on windy, it looks sort of okay, but on the ground, it's not looking so pretty sometimes.
No, some of the swells have been absolutely huge, and it's not consistent with what Windy says. Some days the wind's less, but the swell's massive and big breaking waves over the boat. Other times the wind's higher and the waves are relatively flat.
Yeah. Yeah, not much fun. How are you feeling? I mean, it's the end of getting close to the end. Touch wood. You've been on the boat for a year. Compared to what you were where you're at physically at the start to now, you're feeling good about it, or you're getting tired, or what?
I am definitely tired. I'm exhausted. Like last particular was a difficult night. Um, yeah, I'm tired just in general right now, but I'm so done with this. Like I am so ready to go home. Um, I keep I'm unhealthily checking the
Yeah,
calendar. Like I am looking at the calendar honestly multiple times a day, which is really not very good. Just looking at it, like working out the date and like thinking like, when am I going to be home? When am I going to be home? Because yeah, I'm kind of over this now. To be honest, I want to sleep in a bed that doesn't move. Um, yeah.
yeah. It's a grueling thing, and it's like an anticlimax, but it's exciting and all those sorts of things. So you're looking good. So what's do you sort of now look back on the journey as being what you expected or not what you expected, and has it sunk in what you've nearly done? Touch wood.
Um, Yeah, so it's not. I don't think it ever sinks in for me anything that I ever do, to be honest, because life moves on quite quickly. To be honest, I never really dwell on things. I'm always just so busy with life that I've tried to let it sink in, but then at the same time, it doesn't because I think, oh, I've done that and I've done that, I've done that. And I remember thinking back at the start of the MGR and thinking about the finish and thinking about how confident I'm going to be, how I'm going to, be able to cross the line with my A3 up in whatever wins and all of this and thinking about it. And I'm like, thinking back to my thoughts now, and I'm like, I'm not that confident still. Like I've still managed to do this, but I'm still nervous as anything. I still don't like it when it gets dark because I've got to think about my sails and do stuff like before it gets dark. And yeah, but even though I am a completely different person and grown immensely, I am. Yeah, it's the MGR. I also didn't really. I tried not to imagine what it was going to be like, but I think it is beaten any expectation of that I did have, and actually, like, I think the main thing for that is the people have made it. The other skippers have beaten anything that I could have dreamt about for the MGR.
Yeah. So do you think you're a sailor now, or you still think you don't know how to sail?
Oh, it changes. It changes honestly every minute. To be honest, yesterday I thought, oh, I can sail. This is fun. We got this sorted, and uh, and then I was just bobbing north, and I couldn't figure out why, but I was going slowly. So I was like, right, I'll put up more sail, do this, adjust to the hydrogen, and I ended up pretty much having the hydrogen as though the wind was coming directly from behind me. And I was there like, I'm going so, and I just couldn't figure it out. And yeah, it turns out I just had loads of sargassum around the keel. And in the past 24 hours, the tell for that is I just go north. And that was pretty different to what it was previously. Before I would just slow down. Whereas this is actually changing the direction of my boat. And so yeah, after about an hour of trying to figure it out, I then felt like a complete idiot, and I'm like, you can't sail, honestly. Like, how after all of this time has it taken you an hour to figure out that there was something around the keel?
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I think most people would concede the fact that you are a sailor, but it's really interesting. I just watched some videos last night of back in Lagos at the start, and everyone looks physically different. And it's amazing to watch it and imagine what was going on in the mind there, because it's nearly all over. So, yeah, going to be interesting. What do you think will be the first thing you do when you get out, get to Antigua and get on shore? What?
First thing that I always want to do is just eat. I'm normally so hungry by the time I get to Antigua, or by the time I get to the finish line, because I've been so concentrating on the steering, on the nav, on the nerves about approaching land, that I never normally actually really eat or drink anything with like 24 hours to go. So I'm normally absolutely starving. But I think, yeah, the first thing will greet the people that are going to be there to see me. Probably say a lot of thank yous, lots of hugs, maybe cry a little bit, and then I will just go and get some food, I think, and just sit down and just go, thank God it's over.
Yes. What would you what would you say to someone who's just still building their boat, and they're going to do the MGR? What would you say to them?
I've actually had a few conversations with different people that are wanting to do the MGR or the Transat, and I'm just like, do it, get it done. Like it is amazing. It's everything that you'd want a challenge to be. And yeah, I'd just say enjoy the process as well, because it doesn't last forever. But yeah, I don't know. I can't really say much for the boat building stage, because obviously I never did that. But yeah, enjoy the process, definitely, because that's what makes the entire thing.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a simple but a tough question. We had a really interesting conversation as you were actually approaching Cape Town. You were going to throw it all away. I mean, you were really emotional. It was really hard. Remember, just coming up the coast, in Cape Town Harbour, you were just within reach. You probably remember it. It ended up, we said, okay, go in and anchor and stuff. Now, at the time, you were emotional and it was frustrating. This, that, was that expression of frustration, or was it a real comment? Do you think?
No, that was completely real. I know there was nothing else I could do to get in, and it was only the fact that the weather changed and it just shifted like that made me not stop, not give up, not get help, and not get a tow. It was only down on the weather. There was nothing else that would have made me be able to do it. There's a video, and I'm like, it was impossible, and it actually was impossible. It wasn't anything to do with me, emotions, frustrations. It couldn't be done with the conditions which I was being faced with. And even if even if the conditions hadn't changed and I'd have given up and been then out of the MGR, but in obviously the Guswell class or whatever, I wouldn't regret it at all, because it would have been the decision that I had to make at the time. Even now, let's say coming into Antigua, the last bit, if I can't physically do it, I don't care, because it's not taking anything away from anything else that I've done or the efforts that I've put in. So yeah, I still completely stand by that, and I'm very lucky that the weather changed.
Well,
it was all down to luck. Nothing down to skill. It was all just luck.
Yeah, exactly. What do you think was the highlight port? I mean, they've all been pretty good, and even I've got to concede that they're a bit more exotic than what I thought. The different places and the contrast between each of the stopovers. What do you reckon was your highlight stopover?
I honestly, it always comes back to Cocos.
To where? Sorry, missed that. Where was that?
To Cocos.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so Kokos, every conversation that we have between any skipper, it always, we compare everything to Kokos. And for me, it was something so out there and so different and so that nobody pretty much will ever experience, to live on an uninhabited island, to be the only person on a place, to eat and drink coconut for your breakfast, to just be there. So I felt more alone than out at sea by yourself on a boat, because I think it's so weird to be on land by yourself. So yeah, Cocos was so magical for so many different reasons. Um, yeah, that was definitely a highlight place for me.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And how's the love hate relationship with number two now? Where's that set? Because I know you'll sell the boat like most people, but how do you feel about number two?
I think number two is actually a brilliant boat. Um, we get along pretty well. Obviously, our relationship has built quite a lot more. Now that I know what she wants more, it makes everything easier. And yeah, so we're a lot happier now. I also know what we're doing. I'm less breaking things, I would say. Um, or I've just actually managed to fix the stuff to a better standard so than what they were before. Um, but yeah, we're good. She's a brilliant boat. I actually think a pretty fast boat as well, considering. Like, I imagine if you put like Renaud or Dan Kerry or one of the sailors on number two, she'd be well at the front. Like, I think she's a brilliant boat. But yeah, it's gonna be sad to say goodbye. But yeah, she has pretty much been sold now. Um, so yeah, it's sad, but I'm excited to sort of see the rest of her journey.
Okay, all right. Well, I don't want to use up all the stories. It's great to chat. Can you give us a quick look outside, or is that too hard? In the conditions
Uh,
you got now.
yes, I can. I've not had any waves over the top for about half an hour.
Okay.
So do I have to? Yeah, I'll flip the camera around. Just it'll take me a second as we're getting overpowered. Ooh.
Yeah. Right on. Yeah. At least the
So
sun's shining.
yeah, pardon?
At least the sun is shining. So, yeah, you're
Yeah,
making good
just
progress.
about. Yeah, just about. But yeah, the sea's not bad condition really. Um, just yeah, we got these sails up. It's a little bit blowy.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay. You've actually got more mainsail up than I would have thought. So she seems to be going quite well.
Yeah, we for actually pretty much over a week now, week and a half, we haven't actually brought down any less than two reefs. I've either gone, sorry, one reef. I've either gone all, yeah, two reefs. No, what am I saying? I've never gone down to three reefs. I've never gone down to three
Wow.
reefs in the entire time. I've just been holding on pretty much. But I think because I had something around the keel for so long that I just couldn't make the speed, even though I had the sails and I had everything sorted. And then suddenly, the other day, the boat just felt completely different, and I actually then just poof, and made loads of progress. And so, because I've been so used to battling, working so hard with the sails up, I am. I'm just sticking with it because I also want to get a daytime finish, and yeah, at the minute, if I can keep doing 120 miles a day, I'm due in at 2:30 on the 10th. But I know that every like if I do 115 miles, that loses an hour every single time. So I'm just going to hold out with more sail.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I was thinking you had something around your keel there for a while because you slowed down, previously, and it didn't seem right. So anyway, you're doing really well, eh? And I don't want to use up all the stories. There's lots of stories to tell when you get back. So carry on doing what you're doing, and we're going to see you very soon. What do you want to sign off with? Anything you want to tell all your fans and all that sort of stuff?
It's not a lot to tell. Just yeah, massive thank you for everything. I'm actually going to do a video and post it tomorrow night, I think. Just sort of explaining what's going on in my head and everything. Gratitude of thanks to everybody. But yeah, it's thanks for just all. It's mad. I don't really know how to cope with it. To be honest, it's like it's quite a lot, but in a really, really good way. Like it couldn't be. No, just thank you so much to everybody. Absolute legends.
Bugger. Might pop back or just... Oh, there you go, back again. Okay, we missed the last 5 seconds of that. So anyway.
Okay, no worries. That's fine. I just called everybody a legend. Oh, we were lucky with that. I just got a massive wave straight over.
Okay. Yeah, I don't want to get wet now. I just washed my hair, so that's good. Thanks for that. Okay. All right, Jazz. Well, that's fantastic. I'm really excited for you. And it's funny, I always say, any one day is no bigger than the next. But now's the time you start looking back at the whole context. I mean, holy dooly, you guys have gone around the world. That's crazy. Anyway, yep. Stay good. We'll see you soon.
Yeah. Speak to you later.
Yeah, thanks, Jazz. See you later. Bye-bye. Okay. So that was fun. Jeepers. It's really, I remember when I was finishing the BOC, my solo around the world, the last few days I sat on deck looking at what's going on and you reflect on the whole thing. And I'm noticing it in the writing of the entrants as well. They're all getting a bit, I won't call it philosophical, but it's very interesting what they're saying and it is life-changing. So kind of fun. Okay, so now we'll do a quick tracker. That was fantastic. Before we do, I just had some pictures here. These are the pictures. That's where we're going, back to the National Sailing Academy in Antigua here. That's the class plate, by the way. Some people might not know about this, but once you're fully certified, this is the bulkhead plate that gets on to each of the boats. This was 3. I forget who that one was. Who's number 3? I forget now. Anyway, maybe they had me. I can't remember. So that's the class association bulkhead plate. Hang on, go this way. What's going on there? There's only 2 shots there. Didn't pick up on the others. Oh, I know why. Jazz turned up. Okay, so straight to the tracker. Here it is, and it's telling, you're on the tracker, it's telling a very interesting story. So if you haven't seen it, here it is. A few answers to the question of, was it a good idea to do the current? For some reason, Renaud and the others, they're still rocketing out as if the current is continuing exactly the same way. We slow down a bit now, but Renaud was doing 6 knots, shooting, on the 8 o'clock position. Yeah, 8 o'clock position, doing 6 knots, roaring along, and not actually in the main current stream as defined there. So when I said yesterday, maybe someone else, maybe Predict Wind or something like that, is giving a different positioning, which is why they seem to run up the edge of it. But now you look at the difference between Jacob doing 4.3, Renaud doing 5. He slowed down a bit, but he's way in front. So they'll probably end up coming out of it a little bit different than when they made the decision back here to split the fleet. But I still would say it's going to be more of a comfortable ride for those that are holding the run line. And we'll talk about it in a minute, but basically Entrant's just lost his mainsail, so he's going to be doing the rest of the trip without a main, which is going to slow him down a bit. So now we're going to go and get the wind. I'll put the wind back there. Here we go. Okay, we got the wind. Come down 1. Get rid of that. Get rid of this. We're on day 376. Exactly. 376 days on the road. Now I need to make it a bit bigger for those that are on the phone. Sorry, I'm not flowing so well right now. Okay, we were just speaking to Jasmine. She's got 525 miles to go. doing 5.7 and 123 mile day. That's pretty good. Entrant over here, you're going to see early Entrant's going to become tail end Charlie. Only did 80 miles. What he did, he's doing 4.8, but basically he's got no main up. The main got hammered last night in some big winds, and it's split in various places. Even above the third reef, there are 3 or 4 horizontal slits through the main. So he basically sent a message. I'll read the message shortly anyway, and you'll see what he's saying. But it's going to be a slow ride for Entrant on the way up. Josh, doing 4.7, did 98 mile day, and keeping close to the 100 mile limit. Christian still coming over, hanging in the current, 5.1 knots, 107 mile day. And they are really, they're going to, when they turn that corner, going to be very interesting, and that may affect sales as well. So Eric over here, Eric's due to call in any as soon as this is over, but we won't be we're going to do a record on Eric, so catch up from the other day. So look out for that later today. He's recording 3.9 knots and 107 mile day. Not doing fast there, 3.9, because there seems to be plenty of breeze. Kerry's got breeze, if that's correct. 6.8 knots in the current stream, 128 mile day, heading straight up. You can see the difference in the course going north compared to cracking off. That's a huge difference. So we'll just pick this up a little. Oh, it's doing double skips now. So there's Kerry, and now Dan is hammering Peeler by the look of it, trying to overtake. So 147 mile day, 6.9 knots at the moment, sailing well with the big current stream. And Peeler, 6.7, 142. So yeah, Dan's picked up about 5 miles in the last 24 hours, so moving a little bit faster. Peeler is very close to that island. I don't know whether there's a wind shadow there or not, but anyway, there it is. And Renaud, he's literally rocketed away in the last day. Huge difference especially compared to Adam and Jacob. We were looking at that as being, what do? It's going to be neck and neck. He was only 40 miles behind Renaud at one stage. So now he's doing 4.3, 109 nautical mile day, and he's got 293 to the finish, and Renaud has got 193. So all of a sudden he went from 40 miles behind, literally yesterday, to being 100 miles behind. So that shows you what happened to Renaud. And Adam doing 4.5, 113. So Jacob's lost a bit of ground on that one as well. Now that changes a few things, because if Renaud can keep this up, he's only got 193 to go. He's going to be here. He might be here just at dusk on Saturday. So it's going to be interesting. It gets dark here about what time? About 7 o'clock or something, local time, and 7. It's about midnight. So UTC. No, it's about 11 o'clock. So yeah, he has the chance of getting in Saturday now, so not Sunday, if he keeps it up. But it's been a dramatic speed increase in the last 24 hours for sure, and he's holding high so he can crack off. He'll be putting it in the bank as often as he can, depending on sea state, things like that. Peter will be doing the same. Dan will be doing the same. Everyone is on the home stretch, so they want to get there as quick as they can. Okay, so and Renaud's decision, I know he'd like to come in daylight as well, but if he arrives a couple of hours after it gets dark, is he going to wait around for like 7 hours or something? But anyway, the choices you make, and we'll see what happens. We're slowly getting organised here. We've got some meetings today. Tapio's sorting out his gearbox. So let's look at the weather for the next 24, 48 hours. That's a good enough position there. I think we can see what's going on. Okay, I'm going to push it through every 3 hours. Swinging a bit to the east down the bottom, and then it's back to the northeast. Still quite windy. So there's still plenty of breeze. It's going to be quite windy, gusting up to 30 knots probably, 20, 25, gusting 30 when you see those yellow bits. That's the first 24 hours. Then it's still cycling. There's still plenty of breeze, especially as they're getting closer. So yeah, Renaud might be in about there, and it's going to be blowing quite solidly, but it's going to be after the beam. But there's still funny currents up there. And if I had to, I'll suggest an ETA in a minute when I get to think about it. So there's the second day. So it's pretty strong trade winds, I'd call this. Really strong trade winds. So there's no shortage of breeze to kick them through. And Ertem's way down without a main. That's going to be interesting. So he'll be here for the prize giving, put it that way. Sea State, let's have a look and see what it's saying. It should all be purple. Yep, big time purple. So that's kind of interesting, and that's going to hold. Yep, holding purple all the way through. So that's suggesting 3.5, maybe even more. So quite demanding. They'll all be very happy to get here. If we look going through the 8th and the 9th for the rest of the fleet, yep, still holding there purple, maybe a little bit less. And they should be all in by then, so that's straightforward. Cloud cover, just to see, we saw Jazz didn't have too many clouds here. There it is, all pretty much wide open. So very much a strong trade. That's how you summarise it. Okay, so that's all. Oh, we'll look at the leaderboard. That'll give us a hint too as to what's going on here. From the start, Renaud is now looking at about 2100, 2100 on the 7th, and Peeler on the 8th. Quite a bit different there. Daniel will be maybe 1000 hours on the 8th as well, so sometime Sunday. That's about right, because Renault's really stretched his distance away from the others. He's made a big break from Peeler as well. Oh, sorry, look at the others for those that are watching. Here we go. You can basically see what's going on. These are probably pretty accurate. The 8th, Adam on the 8th, Christian on the 10th, Eric on the 10th, Josh on the 10th, and Erton's swapped over to his other tracker. One of the new trackers he had failed, so that swapped over. That's why he's not showing there at the moment, but it's switched on. It's given us a position. It's just catching up the calculations. And as they close the coast, we'll get further updates. So that's about it. And yes, Renaud may make it tomorrow night. So we've got a few things to do. We'll be watching closely. We'll update the ETAs on Facebook as a post, so keep an eye out for that. And I'm dodging the sun here. Okay, entrant reports. We've got a few. We've got quite a few different things. I'll read you Erton's message first. He didn't put it up on the reports. It was just like a update report to me, but I'm still going to read it because it's not top secret. Last week, TREKKA had a few sail repairs. Last night, I had a very strong gust. So 6 rips appeared, including above the 3rd reef. So it's quite hammered, that mainsail. I have early hours of this morning tried 2 repairs to repair the rip above the 3rd reef. It's along the edge of the battens, and the rest is pretty bad. I will try with 3 reefs for the rest of the journey with my jib. So he has got 3 reefs, so that's pretty reasonable. And the jib, that'll balance the boat better. The A7 is currently ready to be deployed, but too much wind as we keep pushing into the wind. My tracker once again stopped. Recently received the blah, 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 blah. I've asked them to activate the thingo, which we've backed that up as well. And I have the usual weed problems since last week. Regular cleaning required. Rest of the journey for TREKKA will be slow as it is close hauled. So he's cool, but it's going to be a late arrival for Erton. You may have seen Jane pirated the entrant reports here because we're getting some long, interesting entrant reports and some video clips. That was from Kerry. And then coming back here, I've got to find cheapest. I've got a lot here. Okay, Kerry, I thought some host my A3. Okay, Jasmine, number 2. I don't think we got that. Happy with my decision on the route. I'm going to run out of current any moment, but the seas are big and foaming. Muscles are sore from trying to hold on at the high side. That's hand steering on the high side. Direction is hard to hold with the big swell and strong gusts, but I'm glad it's not easy as it makes the finish feel even more deserved. Peter Punk. This is her report. You ready for it? All okay on board. She's obviously sailing very hard. We've got some interesting videos here from Kerry, which Jane will put up later. Origami, March the 5th. The Sargasso weed is not too bad today. Overnight, I sailed through great rafts of it, spanning 100 metres or so. There was no escape, just an endless cycle of clearing the rudder and the Aries vein with my sup paddle, and rounding up every few minutes to try to clear the keel. So he's trying to get it off the keel by coming back and forwards. Inside the cabin, you hear that shh of weed passing against the hull. At least it is a valuable and diverse ecosystem, and delicate and beautiful in form. Otherwise, I would surely hate it with a passion. The Sargasso is amazing. When I read Robert Knox Johnson's book, A World of My Own, from the original Golden Globe when I was a teenager, I was always amazed. What's this? All this bloody weed. Anyway, I first experienced it in 1990. I was becalmed in it at one point, and you could see. I didn't go over the side to look, but you could see the life underneath the weed was really quite interesting. There's special fish, and they live their whole life under the weed, and all sorts, like an aquarium. It's quite cool. Okay, so ecosystem, delicate, beautiful form. Otherwise, I would surely hate it with a passion. I'm in the full flow of the Guyana current now, so perhaps that is why so much has accumulated in my vicinity. That's cool. Then Josh's report, you may have seen it on the post that Jane did. Skookum, the last of things. The last few nights spent watching a billion stars wheeling across a black sky with nothing more to do than contemplate my own mortality. The last views of the Southern Cross fading into the distance like an old friend waving goodbye from the window of a slowly departing train. The last few times being rocked to sleep by the sea like a mother's hand on a baby's bassinet, with the sea whispering a lullaby against the hull. These times have a sweet sadness about them, like eating the last piece of cake you've ever had. The best piece of cake you've ever had. Sorry, Josh. That just happens to have been served at the funeral wake of a dear friend. Time pries away all things eventually, and it's best not to lament what has passed, but to cherish what is gained. Good friends, a wealth of fond memories and experience that can be and an experience that can be imitated but never replicated. It feels like walking from a dream in which one just received everything they ever wanted. And I would like to thank everyone who made this dream possible. I am forever in your debt. Cool. Okay. Sunbear, update Friday. Slow going overnight, out of current, sea state is poor, 25 to 30 knots at times. Not far to go now. Cheers, Eric. So Eric should have called in a minute. We might end up grabbing him while he's here if he's still alive. Dan, Immortal Game. I feel like this last leg is a test of endurance, mental endurance at that. It might be the bounce of the boat, the seaweed off the coast, so thick in the ocean that it can be slept on like a mattress, or it might be the creeping feeling of being homesick. Either way, nothing beats the knowledge that the end is around the last few hundred nautical miles. And we have completed the challenge of independent solo voyagers who have circumnavigated the globe. Whoop, whoop, pretty radical. Keeping an eagle eye on world events and reflecting on how very lucky we are, as us 11 individuals are sheltered from the news of daily life and noise of the world, and settling back to hear and acknowledge the noise within one's mind. Friend or foe, that inner voice has travelled the world. As we near the end of this adventure, thoughts stretch to explore what may come next. Too true. Yes, the world is horribly mixed up, but there you go. We're all having fun, and we are. We're incredibly lucky. So they're the reports. And where do we go here? So yeah, it looks like the positions are going to remain. Eric, you're not meant to call in by hand. Eric just turned up. We will do this. So hello.
Oh, hi Don. Yeah, it's Eric. How
are
you?
I'm not bad. Where's your video?
Hang on. I tried to connect with the link.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very rock and rolling out here.
Okay.
So it's having trouble connecting again.
Yeah.
So I thought I'd ring you anyway, and.
Yeah. All right. We're still live at the moment, so I'll keep it rolling. If you got the video, turn it on. If you can't do the video, I'll just go audio.
Hang on. I'll just see if I can turn it on this. Hang on.
Yeah. So we got him on WhatsApp, but we're just waiting for a video. So I know you're shutting down. I don't want to put him off because it's a bit challenging for them. Conditions are quite... Oh, here we go. Yep. Hang on. I'm going to get you on this side, I think, in case the sun comes back. Okay. Hang on. Ooh, it's a bit glary, but it's okay. So what's happening? What's the conditions now? What do you got up?
It's quite testing out here at the moment, Don. Last night was the same. We had 25, 30 knots. Sea state's quite getting up there now. It's good 3 metres, 3.5 maybe at times. And a lot of weed around. So yeah, it's
So you're having fun. Are you gonna write a song about the Sargasso Sea?
yeah, that's right. Yeah. Oh, that was a bit of fun. Yeah, just putting a few words to what I was thinking about the race and what have you. So yeah.
Yeah, where did that come from? Have you been singing all your life, or what? Are you a professional at it?
Not really. I play a bit of acoustic guitar, and I enjoy that. But I'm no great musician, Don, or a singer, that's for sure.
I didn't say that. But anyway, so you're comfortable. What's in your head at the moment? You know, I mean, it's tough now, and you've still got a way to go. But are you looking back, reflecting, looking forward? What?
Yeah, look, I'm really just contemplating the whole 12, 14 months. Really, like just an amazing journey, and it's really just incredible that we're only a few days away from the finish. It's starting to actually remind me of coming to Antigua. In the qualifier, it's very similar conditions, just coming from a different direction. But
well, drop the signal a bit. Zoop. Boop. He's still trying to come back. We'll see. There he is. You're back again. We just lost the last bit. So,
it's hard to get your head around the big
not good. Yeah, you're back again.
Sorry, mate. It's dropping out. It's the motion of the boat.
Yeah, exactly. It's not as bad as it used to be on HF radio. You know, you lose the signal, so over, you know, blah, blah, blah. Technology's not foolproof. Anyway, so you're reflecting on all of that. How do you feel health-wise after a year on the little boat? You know, you feel stronger or you feel tired, worn out, what?
I feel tired, actually. My body's starting to show signs now that my asthma is suffering. This last leg, we haven't been able to open our hatches much at all, virtually no ventilation in your boat because there's so much water flying around over the deck. So hard to sleep, and of course I've got a CO2 monitor in the boat, and that's going off at night. So it's actually showing that your carbon monoxide levels are quite high, not good. So which is really bad. So that's affecting my asthma. So I'm pumping a lot of ventilator into myself at the moment.
Okay, that sounds like fun. Yeah. Okay. So what do you think will be the first thing you do when you get ashore?
I think I'll be throwing my hands up there and something to rain.
Yeah, it's a long way, eh?
Yeah, maybe give my wife a big hug. She's actually in Miami at the moment, so she should be over at Antigua today. I'd imagine later on today.
Yeah, cool.
Sorry, Brenda, Don.
Yeah. So what was the biggest stopover for you? The one that was the real highlight, the one that'll burn a hole in your memory, you know, of all the places, because they've all been good, but there must be one standout. What would that be for you?
I think the Fiji was really great. Yeah, Verda Marina, they looked after so much. The people there were so kind and really lovely. I really enjoyed it, which was just like around the halfway mark. But I think the island the special island that we went to, I thought was St. Helena. I think that was really amazing.
Yeah, I believe it. Okay, and so what's your ETA? Have you been working that out every 6 hours? Oh, I'm going to be there at that time or something. What are you thinking?
Changing all the time, but if I would imagine it'll be Tuesday morning, early hours of Tuesday morning. But look, it could be earlier, it could be through the like the dark. But look, it's getting close now, so I will just keep our eye on it, Don.
Yeah.
Progress.
No, you want to slow down if it's in the dark. We've got to get the photos.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's looking like it could go. Yeah, if I go quicker, it'll be in the dark. If I go slow, it'll be Tuesday morning.
Yeah, right. So how's your relationship with Sun Bear? You know, the boat. You know, how do you feel about all that?
Yeah. After buying the boat and living on this little thing for 12 months, or over 12 months, you do your test with this boat, just how good it is, and they've done an incredible job. The conditions we've been through, and they've kept us all safe. So yeah, it'll be sad to see it go, but I've decided to put it on the market. There is one guy in Australia in Perth that's looking at it at the moment. He's interested, so we'll see what happens, and we'll go on from there, Don.
Yeah, cool. And so, oh, jeepers, I've just gone blank. Okay, if you were talking to someone that's building their 580 right now to do the MGR, what advice would you give them?
Well, I would say get your boat or build your boat. Make sure it's ready 12 months out from the start of the race. I think that's a real necessity. It makes a big difference to your overall performance. Really hone in on all those skills that you need and require to do a race like. You'll find that you'll go a lot faster because most of it I've actually learned along the way because we haven't spent a lot of time on the boats. So should be in the position we're in now. You should be in that position at the start. I mean, there are a few like Renaud and some of the top guys, Dan and Pilar, of course. They had their boats finished a little earlier, particularly Renaud. So he was on the game right from the word go, which I think that's important.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Okay, well, that's it. Anything you want to add to your fans or whatever before we go?
Oh, yeah, just thanks to everybody for following us and really appreciate your support. And, of course, my family and my wife, Brenda. Yeah, and also, Don, thanks for putting this show on.
We've had a lot of fun too, don't worry. It's not over yet, touch wood. But anyway, it's cool. It's cool. All right, well, that's great, Eric. Good to chat, and we'll look forward to seeing you very soon in daylight, hopefully, touch wood.
Yeah, sounds good, Don. Take care.
Okay, thanks, mate. See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, so that was good timing. Good timing. This is a big one today. We'll have to change that entry. Hang on, and or the title above it. I've got to get back to the what's going on. Hang on, I can't get up to the top. Yes, I can. G'day, Christine. Good to see you. Jonathan, Don, you and Jane have just been awesome through all this. Thanks. Your dedication to adventure and all of us has been outstanding. It's cool. We do it because we know adventure makes good people, and all of this is inspiring people, so they'll all go out and paddle a canoe somewhere. So thanks, John. And we're all in it together. It's quite funny, including you guys that are watching all this. These sort of events aren't anything without the entrance first, and then you got to have the followers. So it's all seemed to be working. It's interesting MGR family. Anyway, thanks. Anita, inspiration that you have much determination and great attitude, Jasmine. You're almost there. Yeah, Jazz is amazing, and you'll see something. Stand by for April the 6th later. Okay, yeah, like and share. Wig Spotter, that's a good handle. I hope all the sailors realise through their tiredness and onboard grumblings just how much they are. Oh, how much they are. Yeah, it'll be $1.50 each, but thank you. we're, as I say, we're all in it together. And yes, thanks. Good attitude, Jasmine. Yep, she's great. She always does a very good interview. I mean, they all do, but Jazz gets it's very, I don't know, it's personal. And Wig Spotter, before they shuffle off home after everything wraps up in Antigua, yeah. Hi, are the waves bigger or is upwind sailing making it feel worse? I think there'd be a bit of both in that. They're certainly solid at the moment. There's a consistent breeze. They're on the bottom end of the trades, the northeasterly trades coming down. So they build up. That's why they're showing purple all the time. So they're big and meaty. Every wave is a different shape, and there's swells and waves and so on. And they all seem bigger when you're going upwind. How does cheers, Warren? How does the relative positions compared to before they split? It might be about the same. I'll go back to the tracker in a minute because I had a question. How do the numbers on what's the overall position looking like, especially between Peeler and Kerry and so on. So I'll have a quick squiz at that before we finish here. Ayrton, yesterday, cheers. Could Ayrton rig the storm jib as a mainsail? He could do. He's got the third reef there. There's various things to do, but the boats still sail pretty well just under a jib when it's not too far forward of the beam. John, is Rob going to be there in time for Renaud's arrival? Yeah, he's arriving in a few hours, so timing worked well. What's the brief lie? What's the entrance to the harbour like with that breeze at night? It's okay. You come in wide. They're coming from a wide angle, and they'll be able to hold up and then crack off at the last minute. So it's perfectly safe. Looks like Jacob only lost 30 more miles going east, so I think a win. Yeah, they're doing okay, but for a while there, they were so close together. I'm thinking, what? Anyway, it was a good story. Living mushroom, thank you, Don. Looks like sailors are working hard so close now. Yep. We all thought it was going to be a bit easier than this, but they're getting a bit, they're getting everything. Sailing's like that. What is the difference between Peeler and Kerry? Yeah, I'll measure that off. When I crossed the Atlantic, the wind would swap from northeast to east every day. When darkness started until daylight, it would change back. Yes, I agree. That happened to me as well, coming across. Or often anyway. Milady, g'day. Are the leaders of races using the rest of the fleet as a toolbox and spares lockers? Yeah, they all share everything and help each other when they're in the ports. So there's no, it's all open. They help each other big time. Not taking tools and spares to save weight. No, I don't think anyone's doing that. They just have a different interpretation. Some take more spares and tools than others. And that's part of the game that you're in, but when they're in port, they all help each other. That happened to me in the BOC. I had so much stuff on my boat, it was ridiculous. And all the 60-footers would be coming in and borrowing my tools. I remember came and getting bits and pieces and all the rest of it. I was the toolbox. But anyway, that's fine. Legend indeed. Hi, Jasmine from sunny St. Helena. And make it 10 foot longer. Oh, yeah, exactly. Bigger boat, bigger stuff. Nighttime arrivals are spectacular. Yeah, that's the trade-off. You can get nice photos and stuff sometimes, but it's one of those things. And everyone will be asleep in the marina. There you go. Okay, so before we sign off, we're just going to quickly go back to the tracker. You're on the tracker. And just measure off some relative positions and give you some comments. You're on the tracker. But am I on the tracker? Hang on. Yes, I am. Okay, so I'm on the tracker. We'll go for the wind. We'll pick it up here and we'll just measure off a couple of things here. Boom, boom. This is where the interest is. So, bow to bow. I'll go stern to stern. Stern to stern. I could do this from the leaderboard and everyone can do it themselves as well. Distance 52 miles, so about 10 hours behind. Peeler's about 10 hours behind Renaud. And then I'll go for Peeler to Dan and then we'll check out. And Dan is about 18 miles, so 4 hours behind Peeler. So 10 and 4 on that one. Then the distances from Peeler to Kerry, 100 miles. Ooh, jeepers, that's 20 hours. Then Kerry's got a 3-hour time penalty. So that's 20 hours there. There's a 3-hour time penalty. So that's near enough to say I'm being rough here. So it's 23 hours, and I think she had another 18 hours on top of that. So it's going to be pretty tough, or 14 hours. So it might be 14 hours difference if something happens, and Pila can get another 14 hours, another 70 miles in front of Kerry. Then she may snatch the third spot, the podium, for overall time at the finish. Okay, but let's wait and see what happens. It's pretty hard when you've only got 300 miles left. So it's only 2 days. So let's wait and see. Anything's possible. Things happen. Holding this course to the north is going to stress sails for sure. It's more likely to cause. Well, if it's solid breeze, you can reef and hold it. But if it gets squally and you get sudden shocks and stuff, sails can pop and slow the boat down dramatically. So who knows? Anyway, that's it. We're here. So thanks for following, and we'll be here again tomorrow. And I'll do some ETAs with Renaud, but he's got a good chance of coming in just before dark or just after dark tomorrow. So it's all happening. See you later. Boom, boom. Hang on. Put that there, like and share and all that stuff.